All righty, and we are live. Guys, welcome to your Concrete Success Podcast. This is Danny Barrera, owner and founder of Concrete Marketing Crew, and also your host here at your Concrete Success Podcast. Look, today I've got a special guest that you are going to want to tune in and listen. I don't know about you, but if you've been in business for any length of time in the concrete coatings, decorative concrete, in the concrete industry, you'll know what a pain in the rear it is to manage inventory. I mean, how much time are you spending every single week going back to the inventory, and perhaps you're using a pen and paper, or maybe an Excel sheet or a Google sheet, and you're going one by one, itemizing all those things. And what this individual has been able to figure out how to do is how to take 3+ hours of inventory management per week, all the way down to 10 to 15 minutes. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Corey Pollard here from fortifiers.com and LS Concrete Coatings in, what is it, North Central Texas? Is that right, Corey?
That's correct, Danny. That's correct.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Welcome aboard. Look, the first question I like to ask is, hey, give us a little introduction. Tell us who you are and how you got started in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started in the concrete coating industry back in late 2016. So I've been around for a little while, learned quite a bit on the journey. Worked for another company. I trained employees there, set up crews, got everything running for them. That company found out that this wasn't their only business. This was a secondary business for them. They pretty much decided that it wasn't for them. And whenever they decided to get out of the market, I decided to do it my own way and kind of stand on my own 2 feet and just get going. So in February of 2020, we launched LS Concrete Coatings, and we've pretty much had good, consistent growth every year. Currently, we're running 2 crews, solid crews. We grow a little bit slower than some other companies simply just because I'm a little OCD on quality, things like that. If I'm going to do something, I want to make sure that it works. So I know that's slowed us down on growth a little bit. But we have a fantastic reputation, and people love their floors, and we have a very low failure rate. So, just kind of one of those things, like we're probably hitting in around, last year we closed out right at about $1 million for gross revenue. So we've had consistent growth, and this year looks like it's going to continue to grow. So
beautiful. Congratulations. Hey, was starting the coatings business and getting it going, was it as easy as you thought it would be?
No. As a matter of fact, it was interesting because in the old business that I started with, I was the one that was put in charge of running everything. So I was the one that went to training classes. I was the one that had to learn all the material and establish all the relationships, and it wasn't my money, right? It wasn't my money. I didn't have to deal with marketing. I didn't have to deal with those things. And as well as I did with the crews and the training process, I thought it was going to be, I'm like, I got this, And I can say I've absolutely learned a tremendous amount about time management and implementing processes and procedures to make sure that each person within my company can bring the maximum amount of value to the company, right? No matter what they're doing.
Right. So, and then that's a big conversation, is how do you not only grow, but grow profitably? And when you start looking at some of those intricacies in the back end of the business, in the management, in the admin, I mean, every little bit counts. Every minute counts. Yes. Every hour counts. And you see, if you're the owner in the business and you have a family and you have kids, and you're spending all the time, working on the business and in the business at the same time, if you don't got those systems together, it's pretty much going to eat up your sanity. Would you agree on that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, and I would say in the beginning, it definitely did, more so than it does now.
Yeah, and you managed to figure some things out here, which is why we brought you here to the podcast. You share your story and how you've been able to grow your business consistently with excellence. When I look at your reputation online, you managed to have over 90 5-star reviews. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I tell you, not a lot of companies can actually pull that off consistently. So over time, your marketing cost goes down because you have a great reputation, your referability goes up. And now we have the conversation of how do we continue to grow profitably when, cost of inventory keeps going up, when cost of overhead keeps going up, and then we're looking for ways to stay profitable. You want to tell us a little bit about what was some of the biggest pains and problems you experienced with inventory management specifically?
So there's so many things that can go right and so many things that can go wrong in my experience with inventory in particular, because if you don't know what you have and you don't know how to figure all of your chemicals and all of your products, all the different things you need for every single job, one, if you don't know how to figure it, that can be a tremendous headache. Two, even if you do know how to figure it, there are certain people that don't have the time, because if you want to break down every single job and you need to break down every single chemical and how many chemical, because we buy our chemical in bulk, you could either fix the problem by overloading on chemical, and maybe you've got too much capital tied up in material that you could be potentially putting back into marketing, or you could be putting into training, and you could be putting it into growth, but you overload yourself on materials just because it's like, well, this is a safe bet because I don't really know what I have or what I need. And then just being able to actually go out and do accurate counts, knowing how to count what you have, knowing how to train your employees to, I know this seems like a simple thing, but how to get your employees to actually put material back in the warehouse in a manner that it's organized and it's you can get a quick count, and you have 4 or 5 half-empty boxes of flakes. So you go to do a job and now we don't have enough, but we thought we had enough because we just glanced at it. Things of that nature. But then when you sit down and you just go to break down each individual job, knowing how much part A I need, how much B I need, doing one breakdown of one job, you could do it probably in, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't seem like it's that much. But if you are running 20, 30, 50 jobs, it becomes a tremendous amount of time. And then you want to make sure that you're tracking your inventory, whether you're making an order once a month or you're making it weekly, depending on the size of your business. Smaller business, they tend to run a little bit thinner on material because they just don't have the capital. And so being able to simplify that system and know what you have, to me, is a tremendous help, because maybe you've got an open day next week and you want to fill that day, but you want to make sure that everything else on your schedule is going to be taken care of. Being able to have the opportunity to be able to just put that in and have a system that just automatically pre-calculates everything, and to be able to move it around by date and sort it, and to already know, yes, I can successfully do this, or no, I cannot. That to me, that's important for my reputation, because I don't want to make promises that I can't keep.
Understood. So, to sum it up here, I mean, you are not just saving time, but you're giving your business the ability to scale and grow with predictability, because you have control over something that may seem uncontrollable at times, especially if you have spreadsheets flying around, if you're sending out your crew managers to go and take inventory, or whoever you have going out there, right? Taking the inventory, whether it's yourself. Did you calculate how much time you used to spend per week or per day doing inventory for your business back before this system?
So before the system, I would say, just because you get caught up in all the things you have to do for the entire business, right? And so you always mean well to do certain things, but what we would do is I would always mean to create a sheet or something so I could break down each individual job and have it labeled, so I always knew what exact breakdowns were for each job. But I never would. I would always have to do this in a hurry. and I would do it at the end of the day, or I'd do it after an install. And what would happen is I would wind up having to take every single one of my jobs and break everything down weekly. And I would make a huge list, and it would take, by the time I got everything counted and by the time I broke down all the math and then figured out exactly what I needed to order and then create the order, you could be looking at 3 to 4 hours. And I mean, I have the fortune of the fact that I'm very I'm good at math. I don't have a problem with it. Where there's other people out there that struggle with it, that's what I've been told. That there's some dealers out there that they hate doing the math part. They enjoy doing the artistic work of the coatings, but the math is a struggle. And so being able to just, like, for me, being able to take that 3 to 4 hour process and turn it into literally about 10 to 15 minute process, it saves me tremendous amount of times. Like, for me, the math isn't intimidating, but being able to take that amount of time per week and turn around and either spend that with my kids or put that into a marketing campaign or something else that we're developing, or equipment maintenance, right? Just being able to utilize that time more efficiently and knowing that the human error is more or less taken out of it, at least in the calculations. As long as we enter in the information correctly, then it's going to spit out the right information, and it's just taken a load off of my shoulders.
Wow. And so I like you, and for anyone listening in, if you're on a podcast and you're liking this content, make sure you follow us at Your Concrete Success Podcast, whether you're in Spotify, Apple, iTunes, on Amazon, on Google Podcast, wherever you are. Make sure you subscribe and share this information to whoever you find that it would be suitable for. But if you want to watch the walkthrough that Corey is going to give us here in just the next couple of minutes, feel free to go to our YouTube channel and make sure that you tune in so that you can see what this system looks like. So you went from a spreadsheet-based system, spending 3 to 4 hours. You started working in architecting and developing your own proprietary system, which now you've called Fortifiers, right? Fortifiers.com. To spell it out for those of you guys listening, it's F as in Frank, ORTIF as in Frank, YRS.com. FORTIFYRS.com. Fortifiers. What does Fortifiers mean, Corey? Can you just explain that to us? What does it mean? Why that name?
So I've got a 9-year-old son, and me and him really enjoy playing chess. I mean, realistically, that's what it comes from. And one of my things that I was raised with is protecting my family, right? Like, protect my family being my family at home, my family at work. I want to look out for everyone's best interest if I'm going to be involved in their lives. And we just kind of thought about, the rook protecting its family on a chessboard. And then we just thought about how it's always fortifying the strategy on the chessboard. It's always you can use it to fortify your defense. And so realistically, that's exactly what this program is intended to do. It's intended to fortify and strengthen everything you already have good in your business by giving a solution to a problem that currently there's, as far as I know, there could be, but I haven't seen any other solutions out there that have been streamlined to the point of what we tried to produce within the software. So really, it just all comes full circle back to defending your process and defending your reputation and helping to strengthen it in a manner that, you've got one more tool. You need the right tools to go grind the concrete. Here's the right tool to help with your inventory management.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, you're protecting your profits, your sanity, your time at the end of the day, your business. So it's a great system. So look, give us I know we don't have that much time here, but give us the 90-second rundown from the moment. Like, how would you take inventory on this system? Show us how the simplicity and the ease of getting that under control. I know there's going to be a couple of other sessions we're going to do together, a workshop
Okay.
in really empowering concrete coating and decorative concrete contractors to really elevate their game in inventory management and inventory optimization for your sanity, your profits. But for the sakes of this this special presentation here, give us a quick rundown. Let's go ahead and share your screen here. And okay,
Okay.
I see your screen now. You want to give us what are we looking at here? And yeah, how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just the dashboard. This just gives you kind of that 5,000 square foot look down on jobs that you've got in your system. So once you've got everything entered in, basically it's just lined up. So you've got this gray. This is just showing jobs past. This is your current day on the blue line, and these are all your jobs that are coming up. Currently, the way everything is set up, we've got these color-coded marks. And what these color-coded marks are going to do is they're going to show you whether or not you can successfully get the job done with the inventory that you have, or whether or not you're getting low, or whether you need to order some. So if we kind of ignore this red one up here, because this is just my demo system that I play with all the time when we're talking to different companies. But realistically, if you were to look down here and you're to say, okay, we're looking at our calendar, and you come in and you find a red dot, you know that if you look at that date, whatever that date is, you need to have product ordered, shipped, and received before that date to be able to keep up with your system. And then there's all types of little highlighted things. So you can highlight over it and it'll tell you what the requirements are for the job versus what you have in inventory. And it just does a prediction down through all the jobs so that you can see really at a quick glance, you know, if you're doing well, or if you really need to get an order made quickly. The other thing that really makes this shine, and again, this is just kind of a quick run through section, but we have it set up for each individual consumer. So depending on what materials they're using, like this is set up for a polyurea based coating company, but you can use it. It tracks and it breaks down all the bins. So if you, depending on what ratios your materials use, it breaks that all down and it tracks everything individually. So like in here, it tells you these are the totals you need. These are your actual manual counts. So when you go through and you count what you need, you just go through and that's all you have to do is go through and input your counts for your flakes, top coats, and then it also tracks some miscellaneous items. But then whenever you get to the point to where it's like, hey, I know that based off of this, I've got all of these things that need to be ordered. Well, you can just come to your inventory, you hit create order. Once you put in your supplier details, it already tells you what you're going to need. And if you need to manually add something to it, you can. And once you do that, you come up here, download PDF, and now you've got an auto form filled PDF that you can send to your supplier. It probably didn't share that part of the screen, but it produces a PDF. So it's just like, it's that quick and easy to be able to know exactly what you have, what you need, when you need it, and then to be able to create an order. Just, I don't know. It's just super simple, super handy. It's also one of the things that I love about it is there's not many people usually within an organization that can comprehend inventory and create orders. With this system, you can train others to count your inventory, and then you can train someone on your office staff or whoever to actually be able to make orders. So not only are you freeing up your own time if you're not doing it, but you can also free up more time and responsibility by having others do it.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. Now, just to clarify, is this only for epoxy flooring, concrete coating contractors, or would someone that does decorative concrete, they do overlays, resurfacing? Would this work also for their business model?
It could. I would need to speak with them directly, simply just because the way that the model works, it's all customizable. But like all of the products that it tracks and all the processes it tracks, it really takes, if you have something that, say, it needs X amount of product A, X amount of product B, those need to be mixed together, and it bases that off of a square footage coverage that works. We can also build systems to where if you have a single component, so like sealers, stains, things like that, if you know roughly what it's supposed to be, if it's supposed to go down, say 300 square foot per gallon, but it's a single component, we can get those things built into the process. I've got some builds where we do a polyurea floor, but we cover it in sand, and then it gets tinted top coats, and it gets 2 tinted top coats. And I've got some build outs to where it will actually track the material figuring for your base that goes down, how much sand you need to get the job successfully done, how much top coat for both layers, plus the percentage breakdown for tint. So, I mean, it's just like all you have to do is put in the numbers, and it's done, So it's just figuring out one of those jobs alone, you're saving yourself potentially, depending on, how well you know how to do that, you could be saving yourself 30 to 45 minutes just on that one job.
Incredible. Yeah. And if you were to quantify, have you made the calculation how much inventory or expenses were wasted in dollar amount plus the hours that you actually spent on this system? Have you quantified what that looks like in wasted dollars for your company that you just spent? Have you done that math yet? That'd be interesting.
No. I mean, as far as quantifying actual hours, because I've been building and working on this system, I've probably been using it for our company for roughly about 1.5 years. Just because I'm not, like I said, I'm so CD about bringing something that's going to work and be quality and be, you know what I mean? So we've been using it for about 1.5 years. And I mean, you think about that, if you take 3 hours a week for, say, 75 to 77 weeks, that's what, over 300 hours just off the top of my head.
300 hours.
And then, in 1.5 years. So,
wow. That's quite a bit of time there. So I know you've solved a big problem in the industry. And like I said before, if you're looking forward to looking at the under the hood and see how this would apply to your business, make sure you connect with Corey, either on Facebook. Where can they find you? If you're on Facebook, where else can they find you?
We've got our website, which you can reach out and get in touch with us there. We're also listed as Fortifiers on Facebook and Fortifiers_software on Instagram. Currently, that's where we are.
Beautiful. Make sure you connect with Corey Pollard. Hey, Corey, thank you so much for spending this afternoon with us here. I know we got a couple of other sessions, workshops that we're going to put together here for our audience. I'm excited about that. So make sure you subscribe, you follow, you share this information on social medias with your friends, with whoever you think would find it useful. Look, if you are in a business partnership, and you're one that is in charge of installations, this is going to solve a ton of issues for you when it comes to inventory management. If you're a solopreneur and you're out there grinding floors, you're doing it all, this is going to bring you sanity, help you save time, money, and energy. And if you're a company that's already thriving in the multi-millions of dollars, then this is certainly going to help you become more scalable from the inventory management perspective. So wherever you are, a very scalable system. I know he just shared and showed just a tiny bit, probably 5% of what it can do. But I know it can do a lot more, which I'm excited about. Any last words here to wrap it up, Corey?
Hey, man, I just appreciate you having me on. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to visit with you. I love being able to reach out and help people. And, this is going to be a great system. I can't wait for more people to be able to use it and just get that time back in your life and get that sanity back. That's very important to all of us.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Hey there, Concrete Contractor. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us your feedback. Let us know how we did. And also, if you're interested in taking your flat work and decorative concrete business to the next level online, make sure that you visit concretemarketingcrew.com today and learn more about our services. And go ahead and download our free internet marketing checklist for decorative concrete contractors. You'll learn a thing or two about what you can improve for your business online.